The Cabinet resolved to maintain the state of emergency to restore the utter peaceful law and order and put tourism on the national agenda to stimulate tourism industry as a consequence of the global economic recession and political turmoil that plagued the nation. The Cabinet meeting also approved the rehabilitation criteria for people affected by anti-government riots by the United Front of Democracy Against Dictatorship or UDD from April the 8th to the 14th and related events. Prime Minister Abhisit Vejshashiwa assured the government would equally handle legal cases against the People's Alliance for Democracy and the United Democratic Front Against Dictatorship, with issuing order to the National Police to speed up legal proceedings involving PAD members. Secretary-General of ASEAN Dr. Surin Pisutwan met with Prime Minister Abhisit Vejshashiwa to discuss the new ground of ASEAN Plus 3 and ASEAN Plus 6 and related summits, and informed the Prime Minister about the stance of ASEAN country members to the recent events in Thailand. สวัสดีค่ะ You're watching NNT News. NNT News is brought to you by the National News Bureau of Thailand under the supervision of the Public Relations Department. We'll keep you informed on what's been happening in the Kingdom of Thailand 24/7. My name is Ganya Pongpankum. The state of emergency would continue to be effective while government upholding stance to implement it as brief as necessary, Prime Minister revealed yesterday. Prime Minister Abhisit Vejshashiwa said after having a special cabinet session yesterday, April the 17th, that in order to restore the utter peaceful law and order, the state of emergency declared that last week would yet to be lifted. However, the decree would not remain in effect longer than necessary. For those who were affected by the latest unrest, Prime Minister affirmed that they would equally have rehabilitating treatment as those affected in the October 7th incident. In addition, the government resolved to put tourism on the national agenda to stimulate tourism industry as a consequence of the global economic recession and political turmoil that plagued the nation. Tourism and Sports Minister Chumpon Silapa Asha has been assigned to come up with measures for the tourism sector's recovery plans and as well to discuss with business operators before proposing the matter to the Cabinet meeting during the week. The Cabinet meeting yesterday approved the rehabilitation criteria for people affected by anti-government riots by the United Front of Democracy Against Dictatorship or UDD from April the 8th to the 14th and related events. Deputy Government Spokesperson Wachara Gandika revealed that the Cabinet had approved financial aid for victims, which would be allotted from the expenditure budget in the fiscal budget year 2009, mid-year budget and the spare money in case of emergency. The Ministry of Social Development and Human Security has been assigned to form a committee and centre to oversee the matter. The criteria and method are based on those for people affected by the October the 7th crackdown on protesters of the People's Alliance for Democracy or PAD last year. The aid will be given according to the victims' conditions. The disabled and relatives of the dead will be financially assisted continuously concerning physical abilities rehabilitation and financial support for the victims' children on education. The Cabinet stressed that rehabilitation for the victims of the recent protest disposal would be equal, prompt and fair. In addition, the Cabinet also approved an extension of emergency decree declared in the 3 restive southern border provinces and a proposal to upgrade tourism promotion as a national agenda in a bid to restore tourism industry, which was heavily affected by economic crisis and political conflicts. The Prime Minister assured the government would equally handle legal cases against the People's Alliance for Democracy and the United Democratic Front Against Dictatorship, with issuing order to the National Police to speed up legal proceedings involving PAD leaders. Prime Minister Abhisit Vejshashivat said he has ordered the commander of the National Police to speed up investigation to conclude legal cases against members of the PAD. This is to deny criticisms accused the government of having a double standard in handling legal cases of the PAD and UDD, he said. Prime Minister has explained why authority issued arrest warrant for UDD protesters' leaders and had objected to their bailout, saying that authority had strong evidence indicating that they would possibly resort to instigate unrest again once they were released on bail. Over the attempt to assassinate PAD leader Sontit Limthongkul yesterday morning, the Prime Minister said that he learned the report and warned of taking the incident to fan out the existing conflicts. Secretary-General of ASEAN, Dr. Surin Pitsuwan, met with Prime Minister Abhisit Vejshashivat to discuss the new round of ASEAN Plus 3 and ASEAN Plus 6 and related summits and inform the Prime Minister about the stance of ASEAN country members to the recent events in Thailand. After having a discussion on the rescheduling of the summit with the Prime Minister at the Government House, Dr. Surin said that ASEAN member countries as well as the dialogue partners wanted Thailand to resume the summits as soon as possible, and none of them offered to be a new host. He indicated that the summits were expected to be reorganized no later than early June, but an exact date still could not be set since many members are not available during the period of late May and early June. The government would soon reach a conclusion regarding the venue of the summit, which should be held in Phuket as originally planned, added Dr. Surin. At the same time, Dr. Surin expressed his concern over the current political situations in Thailand, including the shooting of Mr. Sontit Limthongkul, a local media mogul and co-leader of the People's Alliance for Democracy, or PAD. Two media-related associations denounced the assaulting action against leader of the People's Alliance for Democracy, or PAD, Mr. Sontit Limthongkul, and called on the police chief to speedily arrest defendants to face prosecutions. The Thai Journalists Association and the Thai Broadcast Journalists Association made a statement on the ambush of the PAD leader at the Bang Khun Prom junction on his commute to Asia Satellite Television, or ASTV station. The statement says such an action was very cruel as the snipers used war weapons in their assault on Mr. Sontit. He said the action not only assailed Mr. Sontit but worsened the national political condition and provoked possible violence. The two associations therefore condemned such action and called for the police chief to expedite the follow-up of the case and bring the snipers to meet prosecution to avert an emulation of the case. They also asked the police to continually reveal the progress of the case to the public to assure security to the media and general people and show the effective performance of the Royal Thai Police. Democrat Party spokesperson medical Dr. Buranat Samutharak revealed the attempt of ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra via 8 networks to discredit the government's operation. Dr. Buranat said the Democrat Party had constantly analysed the spreading information aiming to distort officials' operation and incite conflicts, saying that this was to help protect and restore the image of the nation, since many of these news were alluding to many important institutions of the country, including the Privy Council, the judiciary and the government. The 8 networks include interviews given by Pheu Thai Party and Mr. Thaksin himself, rumours spreading via community radio on the internet and community leaders, claims of some military and police personnel sided with Mr. Thaksin, news from fake media as well as some organisations or agencies. The Democrat Party spokesperson said these networks would spread news and rumours that were UDD supporters who died or became lost for the demonstrations, clashes and crowd disposal by the military. Dr. Buranat said many of the rumours were proven to have no relation with UDD demonstration, crowd disposal or even to politics. He said he wanted the media and the public not to fall victim to this faulty information, added that this was what the government was obliged to do for the image and credibility of the nation and the government in the eyes of foreign media. Minister attached to the Prime Minister's office, Santit Wongnongtei, insisted the closure of community radio stations were lawfully done while stating issuance of temporary licenses for the operation community radio stations would be completed by the end of this month. The Prime Minister's office minister said that closure of many community radio stations yesterday was illegal action taken only of those who instigated public uprising. Moreover, Mr. Santi revealed that the Public Relations Department and the Ministry of Defense would join hand in holding negotiation with radio stations, assigning them to inform the public to be more cautious of receiving information. Mr. Santi also said the closure of DTV station, which was the United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship or UDD, affiliated station, was not a prejudicial action, but there was obvious evidence that the station had parts in inciting people to stage on a political unrest. Mr. Santi said the government would not hinder the operation of the radio stations that have contradicting views with the government, but they should operate in line with the law. Mr. Santi also added that the National Telecommunication Commission, or NTC, was tasked to issue temporary licenses for